This man simply lost his watch by accident while diving. But he unexpectedly discovered a secret that changed his life. This isn't an exaggeration, just keep watching. As he dove back down to look for his watch, he unexpectedly discovered a mysterious stone. Drawing on his years of treasure hunting experience, he immediately recognized it as a ballast stone from an ancient ship. Typically, near stones like this, an ancient shipwreck laden with treasure is often hidden. With that in mind, he hurried to the surface and shared the good news with his 3 companions right away. Upon hearing this, the group sprang into action immediately, grabbing their diving gear and diving to the seabed to search. Sure enough, it wasn't long before Jared made a new discovery. It wasn't until he pried the object out that he could see clearly. It was actually a golden dagger. With such a rare treasure appearing, it seemed certain that a treasure trove lay hidden beneath these waters. This had Jared grinning from ear to ear. As long as they found the treasure from the sunken ship on the seabed, they could reach the pinnacle of success in one fell swoop. To boost their efficiency, they immediately headed to the market and purchased a large quantity of detection equipment. They then returned to these waters, ready to go all out. First, they used ropes to mark out a rough area, then used metal detectors to comb through it thoroughly. Soon, the detector picked up a signal. Jared signaled his partner to blow away the surface sand, and immediately a thick iron chain came into view. Sensing an even larger object beneath, Jared quickly told his partner to turn up the power. As the sand was blown aside in all directions, the long-buried object finally revealed itself. It was an Italian cannon from hundreds of years ago. To haul this antique away, they quickly tied ropes to both ends of the cannon and inflated the airbags on both sides. As they lifted it together, the cannon slowly rose to the surface. Just as they were preparing to haul the cannon back to the boat, Amanda, who was manning the air pump, suddenly heard an alarm. It turned out to be the Coast Guard arriving for a routine inspection. This gave the 3 divers a huge scare, because they knew full well that once they brought the cannon to the surface, the treasure on the seabed would inevitably be exposed. In the end, they might end up with nothing. To avoid this scenario, Jared quickly signaled Bryce to release some air to temporarily stabilize the cannon underwater. However, when Bryce opened the air bladder to release air, he accidentally let it all out. The cannon, weighing thousands of Gene, instantly spun out of control and plummeted straight toward the seabed. Meanwhile, Bryce's arm became entangled in the rope, and his entire body was dragged down with it. Just as it hit the seabed, the iron cannon landed squarely on Bryce's arm. Moreover, Tom's oxygen supply was nearly depleted. With no other choice, the 3 had to take turns breathing. Realizing the situation was extremely critical, Jared and his girlfriend immediately launched a rescue attempt, but the iron cannon was simply too heavy. After struggling for a long time, they couldn't budge it an inch. If this dragged on any longer, none of them would be able to escape. Jared decided to remove his own oxygen tank and pump all the remaining oxygen into the airbag. Then, together with his girlfriend, he lifted the cannon higher, which is what saved Bryce's life. By the time the 3 surfaced, the Coast Guard had long since left. However, despite this experience, they had no intention of giving up. The appearance of the ancient cannon meant that this stretch of water might hide a sunken ship laden with treasure. So the next day, they expanded their search area, determined to salvage every antique treasure from the seabed. But unexpectedly, as they searched, they stumbled upon a massive pile of metal debris. Following the debris, they explored further, and, not far away, were startled to find a crashed airplane. Jared couldn't believe his eyes. He hurried to the surface to alert his companions. The group quickly dove back down to inspect the plane's condition, but when they entered the cabin, the sight that greeted them made their eyes widen in shock. Inside, they found tens of thousands of bags of flour. It was clear the plane had been used by drug traffickers to transport drugs, and had crashed in these waters after an accident. Seeing this, Jared was panicked, but his friend Bryce was incredibly excited. He even planned to take a bag back to sell, but Jared believed that if the police ever seized this stuff, they would surely rot in prison for the rest of their lives. He would never touch money earned in such an unconscionable way. As he spoke, he used a small knife to slit open the flour packages and dumped the entire contents into the ocean. Back home, Jared's girlfriend Sam suggested calling the police, but this was immediately opposed by the others. If they reported it, that stretch of water would inevitably be cordoned off, and the treasure on the seabed would be confiscated. So the group proposed that they salvage the treasure first, and then report the plane incident to the police afterward. Everyone thought it was a good idea and nodded in agreement. Only Amanda, standing on the sidelines, began hatching a devious plan. The next day, while the others were searching for the treasure in the ocean, Amanda sneaked over to the plane wreckage, intending to secretly take a few bags of flour back to sell. However, as soon as she crawled into the cabin, her oxygen tank got stuck. Meanwhile, with Amanda nowhere to be seen, Jared sensed something was wrong. He hurriedly grabbed an oxygen tank and dove to the seabed, realizing Amanda might be trapped inside the plane. Without a moment's hesitation, he crawled inside, and, sure enough, found her among the wreckage. That's how Amanda narrowly escaped with her life. Back home, the group pored over ancient texts and discovered that these artifacts were likely relics from a French merchant ship that had sailed 300 years ago. The books clearly recorded that at the time, the wealthy merchant, to escape the turmoil of war, had hidden his treasure on a cargo ship bound for France. Little did he know that the ship would be attacked by pirates en route, and the vessel subsequently sank in these waters. Upon reading this, everyone was thrilled and planned to return to those waters the next day to search for the treasure, vowing to claim this fortune for themselves.